y'all sit with me and have a coffee, and I'll answer some questions that you guys have had about the grandparents. First question is, did they get their coins back? And no, I don't think they'll ever get their coins back. We still do have a detective on the case, but we haven't had any leads or updates, anything like that. It's just hard to track coins, and it's easy to sell them. So I don't think that we'll ever get them back. We've kind of, given up on hope of getting them back. Next question we get a lot is, when was Graham diagnosed with dementia? She technically, officially has not been formally diagnosed yet. We do have an appointment that we've been waiting almost 10 months for next month for her dementia evaluation. We are going to have to take a kind of a wheelchair van up there. Unfortunately, we can't easily get her in and out of the car anymore. And so we do kind of have that lined up for next month. And the next question is kind of what really happened with Graham. So obviously in May, we went to the Kentucky Derby. That went really well. We were able to kind of easily transfer her in and out of the cars then, and obviously we could get her in a wheelchair. She sat out and watched the Derby race with us. That trip went, phenomenal. And really ever since then, we kind of have just noticed a steady decline in her mobility. We had to get kind of one sit to stand. It wasn't electric, it was kind of a manual one where she could use her arms and pull up on the sit to stand, and then we kind of would lock, we call it the butt flaps, down behind her, and she was able to pull her upper body up, and we would kind of lock that in and we transfer her with that pretty easy. And then her arm strength just started to kind of decrease, and she wasn't really able to pull up with that anymore. Then we had to get an electric lift, and now that's what we're using. It's kind of an electric sit-to-stand lift, and we're able to kind of easily transfer her, kind of from the bed to the recliner and get her into the bathroom, and it's safe for everybody. That's really where we're at. Her mobility status, unfortunately, she can't walk anymore. Just does not have the strength. We had not falls, but kind of like assisted to the ground. We had a few episodes of that probably about a month and a half ago, and she does have degenerative changes in her back and in her spine, which caused a lot of mobility issues with her over the last few years. But then just once those changes got worse, it just made it hard for her to keep on moving. So that's kind of where we're at. Her appetite has declined a little bit compared to maybe like 2 months ago, but she still is eating, 3 meals a day. They're just kind of smaller portions than they used to be. We did, as a family, elect to kind of bring in hospice for Graham. That's something relatively new, not necessarily due to her condition, but for additional resources and support for us. I was a former kind of hospice nurse and hospice clinical manager who did have that background and knowledge for the support that they could provide us during this time. Graham is in, no way imminent or anything, but we just needed some additional resources, kind of like a hospital bed for her, additional help with supplies, a CNA to assist with, assist me in, kind of getting her cleaned up for the day. And they just provide great support and have a great support staff for us as well. And just other people for also Graham to kind of talk to besides me and Papa and my mom too. They have been a blessing. She's only been on service for about like 2 weeks now. But that's going well, and we do feel, really supported in that aspect too. But those are pretty much the updates. Obviously, our content isn't going to be the same as it was last year. Graham was a lot more mobile and, mentally a lot more with it last year compared to this year. So obviously our content's gonna change, or has already changed, but you know, we appreciate everybody that has been with us for the last, you know, over a year and a half. It's been a wild ride. I love looking back at kind of all the older videos and just seeing, you know, how Graham was last year compared to this year. Just a little emotional for me at times, but honestly, we had some fun times last year. I mean, we went to Great Wolf Lodge. Like I said, we went to the Kentucky Derby. She did get to experience kind of a lot of things, not, you know, only last year and everything with like social media, but you know, her whole life. So that's pretty much where we're at, and thank you guys for, you know, being loyal supporters, and we'll continue to, you know, kind of share the journey as it goes here. And love you guys. Bye.